can the Nothing Ear 2 stand up to the competition in the under $200 price category? In this video, I'll be answering that question as well as letting you know if the Nothing earbuds will finally get that El Jefe seal of approval. As always, there will be links to all the products shown in this video down in the video description. So let's jump into it. So first, let's start with that Bluetooth connection. So the Nothing Ear 2 are featuring Bluetooth 5.3 with AAC, SBC, and LHDC with compatible devices. Now, these are compatible with both iOS and Android devices, but you do need to have an Android device that supports LHDC codec to get the maximum out of these earbuds. So sorry to iPhone users, but you can blame Apple, not me. It is what it is. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 are also featuring Google Fast Pair, which makes pairing incredibly painless with compatible Android devices. Now, when it comes to Bluetooth range, I managed to get right around 38 feet or about 11.5 meters. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 also feature a single usage mode. Basically, you can use one earbud individually while you leave the other one charging in the case, and it works quite well in my personal opinion. However, the music will pause if you leave ear detection enabled. You also maintain the ability to use both active noise cancellation and transparency mode with one earbud in use. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 also feature multi-point connectivity for up to 2 devices, and so far the multi-point feature works well with all of my devices, including my iPhone 14 Pro Max, my OnePlus 11, the Pixel 7 Pro, my Asus Zenfone 9, and the Xiaomi 11 Lite. So overall, very good with that compatibility. Now let's move over to watching video and mobile gaming. The Nothing Ear 2 have minimal latency when it comes to watching video or when playing games thanks to its use of Bluetooth 5.3 as well as the dedicated low lag mode. Whether you're watching videos on YouTube or playing a quick game of Call of Duty Mobile, lag won't be an issue unless you are competing at the highest level. Listen, 99% of you watching this video aren't competing at that level, so no worries. But if you are in that 1% that can't have any lag, then you need to stick to those wired earbuds, my dude. But if you need a recommendation on a good set of wired earbuds for gaming, just let me know. Ask down in the comment section. So now let's move over to one of the most important questions that gets asked about any set of earbuds, and that's comfort. So overall, the Nothing Ear 2 shape and size remains the same as the first version of the Nothing Ear. Now for my ears, the Nothing Ear 2 fit perfectly and they feel lightweight, so no issues there. No discomfort, no ear fatigue after long hours of usage. So kudos to them for really nailing the ergonomics, at least for my ears. Now, the next question that I get is, are these good for workouts? Are they good for sports? And so far, grip has been good for me, but this will depend on your ear shape and your ear tip choice. Now, Nothing did include 3 sets of silicone ear tips in the box, and the included tips, they do work well enough, but I went ahead and swapped mine out for a set of the Spinfit CP360 for the improved comfort and the improved seal. There will be a link to those in the video description if you are interested. Now, during my walks, I haven't experienced any slippage and I didn't need to readjust them at all. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 also feature an IP54 water resistance rating, so no issues with sweat or having water splashed on them. It's not going to mess them up. So overall, pretty good. And I would say they are a decent recommendation for somebody who wants to use them for sports or workouts. So now let's move over to sleep, because there are a lot of people who like to use their earbuds for sleep. This is another one where user experience may vary. Now, for me personally, the Nothing Ear 2 were just okay for sleep. Like if I was just going to take a quick nap where I'm just laying on my back, no problem. But if I'm really going to go to sleep and I'm a side sleeper, the Nothing Ear 2, they stick out a little bit too much and they were putting some pressure into my ear. So side sleep, probably not a good thing, at least not for me. User experience will vary, but I just have to share with you the honesty of my experience here. So last but not least, that brings us over to body-borne noises. And it is slightly noticeable when you use these in their normal and transparency mode. You can hear your footsteps, you can hear your heartbeat, things like that. It can be reduced when you turn on noise cancellation, so that works pretty well. But overall, body-borne noises were not really an issue with the Nothing Ear 2 in my personal experience. So now let's move over to the controls of the Nothing Ear 2, and these are featuring squeeze controls. They are responsive and they are easy to use once you get accustomed to what all the different commands do. Now they do support a single, double, and triple squeeze, as well as a single squeeze and hold and a double squeeze and hold. All of those are customizable except for the single squeeze. That's the only one that you can't mess around with. And yes, we do have the option for volume control as well, which I love to see. So thank you for adding that in there. You also have the ability to customize controls based on either side. Totally up to you, and you can do that within the app. Last but not least, you also have ear detection, and you can toggle that on or off depending on what your preference is. And once again, you can find that in the Nothing X app. All right, and speaking of app support with the Nothing Ear 2, you do have the option of getting the Nothing X app. Here I have it on my iPhone. It is available on Android and all your other devices as well, so it is fully compatible there. Now, you open up the app and you're going to be greeted with the battery levels of the earbuds themselves. Now, you tap on either bud, and that's going to take you to the controls for that specific side. So there's the controls for the right. You tap on the left, you can get controls for the left. So equalizer is the one that's right below here. So you hit EQ right here. You're going to get your 4 presets: balance, more bass, more treble, voice, and then a custom if you want to go in and mess around with it. Totally up to you. Now the squiggly line right here, that is for your personalized sound profile. So that is where the app is going to give you a hearing test, and it's going to create a personalized EQ based on your own hearing. I strongly recommend going through this process, as it has provided a much improved listening experience for me personally. So let's go ahead and back out of here real quick. Back out of there. So next to that, you do have the controls. So once again, you can access your controls. So you go in here and then you click on each one so you can see the different commands. All of them are there. Not customizable is the single pinch. That's the only one that you can't do, and you can always reset them in the top corner. Now below this, you also have your noise controls. So noise control you have off, and that's basically everything turned off. You have your transparency mode here, so you can have all the sound coming in, and then you have your noise cancellation. And noise cancellation, you do have 4 different modes: high, mid, low, and your adaptive. Adaptive is my personal favorite because it will listen to your ambient noise and adjust itself accordingly. Then they have personalized ANC. The personalized ANC is going to detect ambient noise levels and sets an ANC based on your hearing. I just leave mine in adaptive. To me, I just like to keep it simple that way, so I don't have to sit there constantly messing around with it. Now up here, you go into the settings, so you click the little gear icon right here. You get your in-ear detection toggle. You get your personalized ANC. There's your low lag mode for gaming. You have your personalized sound profile. Here's your dual connection. So if you want to go through and see which devices that you've got it paired to, you can totally do that. And then you've got your ear tip fit test to make sure your ear tips are fit correctly to your ears. The Find My Earbud feature, firmware updates, device name, Bluetooth address, all of that extra stuff. So yeah, that's basically that. Now, to be clear, you don't have to download the Nothing X app to use these earbuds. The app simply lets you take full control over the earbuds to maximize your listening experience, but it's not a requirement. So now let's get into the actual performance of the Nothing Ear 2. And first, let's start with the battery life. So Nothing claimed up to 6.3 hours of playback with noise cancellation turned off and 4 hours with noise cancellation turned on. Now these are usually best case scenario situations, so I went ahead and tested these claims for myself. Now in my own testing, I managed to get 4 hours and 11 minutes with noise cancellation turned on and 5 hours and 52 minutes with noise cancellation turned off. So their claims were pretty much spot on, but still, I think battery life could be a little bit better here. This is decent battery life in my personal opinion, but not really anything to be proud of in 2023. Definitely could use some improvement for sure. Now, case charging, so charging the actual charging case, it comes via USB-C or wireless charging. You have both options with the Nothing Ear 2. So let's move over to the noise cancellation. Now, noise cancellation with the Nothing Ear 2 works very well in my testing. Nothing is claiming up to 40 decibels reduction in ambient noise, and so far, the noise cancellation has been excellent in my testing. I used both 75 decibels of crowd noise and 85 decibels of airline cabin noise, and the Nothing Ear 2 did well against both types of noise. I also didn't experience much of that stuffy cabin pressure feeling unless I was using the max ANC setting. Then I felt a little bit of it, but nothing that was really bad or anything really that would be a deal breaker for me. I also like using that adaptive ANC option that adjusts itself to one of the 3 ANC levels based on environmental noise levels. Now, lastly, I did still experience a bit of EQ shift when activating noise cancellation. Now, basically, what I mean by EQ shift is that it feels like the EQ gets a bass boost when noise cancellation is active. Hopefully, this is something that Nothing can address via a firmware update in the future. Now, just to be clear, the EQ shift is not terrible, nor is it a deal breaker for me personally. This could be just my set of earbuds that are experiencing this shift in sound. Either way, all I can do is share with you the honesty of my experience here. But if you're also experiencing EQ shift with your Nothing Ear 2, sound off in the comment section so Nothing can see what you have to say about that. But please, always keep it respectful. You attract more bees with honey than with vinegar, right? So now let's move over to the transparency mode, and with the Nothing Ear 2, it is excellent. Noticeable improvement over the previous version with the Nothing Ear 2s. Sadly, they are still outperformed by something like the second gen Apple AirPods Pro, but it's not by a huge margin. It's actually surprisingly narrow. Sounds more natural and less processed when compared to many other true wireless earbuds on the market. What I'd love to see here, a little bit of constructive criticism, would be a proper volume slider for the transparency strength. I think that would be super, super dope to have, but whether they'll implement it, I don't know. Otherwise, I'm actually quite satisfied with the transparency mode here, as it's been very good in my testing. So now let's move over to the sound and the volume. So first up, volume. In my testing, the Nothing Ear 2 managed to get 119 decibels of peak volume, and that qualifies them as dummy loud. Listening for me comes in at a comfy 50 to 65%, more than loud enough for 95% of you out there. But if you are hard of hearing, or maybe you've had some hearing damage and you need a louder earbud, the Nothing Ear 2, they will have you covered. Now, before we get into the sound quality, if you are getting any value from this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button for me. It's free for you and it helps the channel greatly. So thank you. So let's jump into sound quality. Nothing definitely stepped it up for the Nothing Ear 2 this year. Not only is the out-of-the-box sound improved over the first version, they also added a personalized EQ to the Nothing X app that helps take the sound quality to the next level. But I also want to give major kudos to both Nothing and my homie DMS for the improved tuning on these earbuds. They reached out to him despite his critical review of the first version because they wanted to make a better product the second time around. This shows a willingness to listen to the community feedback, and I'm 100% on board with that. So first, let's start with that personalized sound. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 use a quick hearing test to measure your hearing levels. Those measurements are used to create a custom EQ profile perfectly tuned to your hearing. This is similar to what we've seen from OnePlus, Soundcore, and one more. For me, it created a punchy, rich, spacious sound that definitely took me by surprise. Most of my testing was done with the Nothing Ear 2 in their balanced EQ, as well as my own personalized EQ profile so that I can hear the difference. So let's break down the sound. But first, if you're looking for, objective measurements, frequency response graphs, that stuff, my reviews, I don't do that. You may want to check out my boy DMS's video, but for me, I'm just going to tell you how I feel about the sound in a subjective fashion. So first, the bass. Now, the Nothing Ear 2 have excellent sub-bass extension without getting muddy or bleeding into the mid-range. It's got a good satisfying punch without all of the bloat. Good enough to satisfy most, if not all, bass heads out there. One of the test tracks that I used was Keep It on the Reel by 3 Times Crazy. Now, this is an old school Bay Area banger that's a must-have for any old school hip-hop head. Well, at least those of us who are into both East and West Coast 90s hip-hop tracks. Now, let's move over to the mid-range. So the mids come in with a nice relaxed sound that's pleasant without being all up in your face. It's a rich sound that works well for both male and female vocals as well as live instrumentation. A nice surprise was how my personalized EQ boosted the mids and gave vocals more presence in the mix. Now, one of the test tracks that highlights the strengths of the mid-range is Sabor a Mi by El Chicano. The live drums, the guitars, along with these sultry female vocals were nothing short of outstanding. This track with these earbuds absolutely gave me goosebumps, something you definitely got to experience. Now let's move over to the treble. Now the treble here is crisp and clear with not even a hint of sibilance. You can easily boost the treble with the more treble EQ preset if it's needed, but I find the treble to be very pleasing right out of the box. Now there is also excellent soundstage and imaging that I was not expecting to hear from these earbuds, especially when compared to the dismal performance of the Nothing Ear 1. And you even get improved detail retrieval when using the LHDC codec along with good source audio. Now, one of the test tracks that I used for this was Prince's Purple Rain, which really showed how well the treble tuning can shine when there's a lot happening in the mix with both vocals, background vocals, all the different instruments. So if you don't have this song in your playlist, then I don't know, man. I don't know. We might not be able to be friends anymore if you don't have the song in your playlist. So just throwing that out there, man. And then as far as overall sound, I mean, it is very balanced. It is very well tuned. And you can see that a lot of effort went into creating a much more well-rounded and balanced product. So huge kudos there. Now, here's a quick word to Nothing and the team there. Once again, I'd like to give kudos to both Carl Pye and his team at Nothing for creating a much better product and for listening to community feedback. Not all companies are willing to do that, so I want to double down on my support for that type of engagement with the audio/tech community. With that said, I do have some constructive criticism that I want to share with you, and I'm hoping that it doesn't fall upon deaf ears. It's nothing too crazy. First is going to be the battery life. That I feel it definitely needs improvement at this price point, especially when you have competition on the market that's giving you 8 to 10 hours on a single charge with similar, if not more robust feature sets. So what I'm talking about there is multipoint connectivity, high-res codecs, active noise cancellation, spatial audio, transparency mode. They're doing all of that at a lower price, and they have better battery life. So just throwing that out there. If you want more feedback on that, I'm open to a conversation. Now, secondly, it's the EQ shift problem. As I said before, this could just be my set of the Nothing Ear 2 that are experience this added bass when noise cancellation is active. But I don't think that's the case because we've seen EQ shift with noise cancellation from many brands over the past 6 years. Hopefully, this is something that Nothing can look into and hopefully address. So now let's answer a couple of the most commonly asked questions. Are the Nothing Ear 2 better than the Nothing Ear 1? Absolutely. For sound quality, noise cancellation strength, transparency mode, man, I don't care how cheap you can get the Nothing Ear 1 right now, skip those and get these. But if you need a cheaper alternative, maybe you can't afford the price of the Nothing Ear 2 at the moment, just ask me down in the comment section and I'll give you a cheaper alternative. Now, secondly, do the Nothing Ear 2 get the El Jefe seal of approval? Yes, these are a drastic improvement over the first version and can easily compete in the sub $200 market, a solid purchase for fans of the Nothing brand. So now let's get into my rankings and see how they stack up in that sub $200 market. So firstly, we're going to pit them up against the OnePlus Buds Pro 2, the Soundcore Liberty 4, the Oppo Enco X2, and the Google Pixel Buds Pro. But if there are other earbuds that you wanted them compared against, like maybe the Apple AirPods Pro, the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2 Pro, any of those, just ask in the comment section and I'll help you out. So let's start with noise cancellation rankings. In first place, we've got OnePlus. Second place, we've got Google. Third place, we've got Nothing. Fourth place, we've got Soundcore. And fifth place, we've got Oppo. While all of these offer strong noise cancellation performance, the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 still did the best job against both airline cabin noise as well as crowd noise. Kind of surprising here was actually the Pixel Buds Pro taking second place, but they definitely outperformed the other three in my testing. Now for transparency mode. In first place, we've got Nothing. Second place, we've got OnePlus. Third place, we've got Oppo. Fourth place, we've got Google. And fifth place, we've got Soundcore. Now, this ranking was a really tight battle between Nothing and OnePlus, but the more natural sound of the Nothing helped them secure the win here. But it was really close since actually all 5 of these offer excellent transparency modes. So now let's move over to the volume. In first place, we've got OnePlus with 121 decibels. In second place, we got Nothing with 119 decibels. In third place, we got Oppo with 118.4 decibels. In fourth place, we got Soundcore at 117.1 decibels. And in fifth place, we got Google at 115.9 decibels. Now, these numbers here speak for themselves. OnePlus Buds have never been weak on volume, so it comes as no surprise that they would easily take a win here. But it's actually very good to see that Nothing Ear 2 came in at a very close second place. And to be clear, considering that even the fifth place one comes in at nearly 116 decibels, all of these are more than loud enough for most people. Just wanted to make that very, very clear. So now let's get into the sound quality rankings. So in first place, we've got OnePlus. Second place, we've got Nothing. Third place, we've got Soundcore. Fourth place, we've got Oppo. And fifth place, we've got Google. Now, this was a very difficult comparison to do. The Nothing Ear 2 are nothing short of impressive when it comes to their much improved sound quality. The balance, the detail, and the soundstage are absolutely awesome. The fact that I'm ranking them above Soundcore speaks volumes about how much I like them, but it wasn't enough to take the crown away from OnePlus in my personal opinion. OnePlus Buds Pro can dig deeper on bass, offer more clarity and airiness in the treble as well. It was close, but OnePlus is still the champ in my ranking. Regardless, massive kudos to the team at Nothing for truly delivering an excellent product here. Something they can definitely be proud of. So now let's get into some microphone samples for those who like to take phone calls with their earbuds. I'll be doing both quiet and crowd noise tests on all 5 of these earbuds so you can hear how they perform under different conditions. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Nothing Ear 2. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Liberty 4. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the OnePlus Buds Pro 2. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Google Pixel Buds Pro. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. As you can see, once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Oppo Enco X2. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. So you can see, once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Nothing Ear 2 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So, something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundcore Liberty 4 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded train station, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the OnePlus Buds Pro 2 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Google Pixel Buds Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Oppo Enco X2 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded train station, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. As always, you're gonna have to be the judge of the mic quality down in the comment section. So with that out of the way, my sample of the Nothing Ear 2 were purchased by me with my own money. I have no contact with Nothing, so there was no monetary compensation involved, and Nothing was not afforded any copy approval or early access to this video prior to it being published. Now, I'm telling you this because I believe in transparency with you as the viewer. As always, please be sure to watch multiple reviews before making that final purchase decision. Now, if you're interested in seeing my tier list of all the true wireless earbuds that I've tested, check out this video that I'm gonna leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, my name is Jefe, and I'm out this bitch.